Imagine a world where, somewhere, people walk on all fours, unlike ordinary humans. Until 2005, these people remained hidden from the world, waiting to be discovered. They have walked this way since they were babies. But why do they walk like this? Could this extraordinary discovery reveal some incredible truths? Today, you are about to witness unbelievable things related to this phenomenon. The year is 2007, Babel. These people cannot walk on their feet. When they try to walk upright, they struggle, and it almost turns into a form of torture for them. The other members of the family are healthy, but some of them cannot walk normally. This condition, of course, brings about other problems. For example, because their hands are constantly in contact with the ground, much like their feet, they often swell and cause pain. Similarly, since they walk with their feet in a bent position, their toes are continuously curled, leading to severe joint issues over time. Swelling and deformities eventually develop in their fingers. Many of those in the family who walk this way also have intellectual disabilities. At this point, one might wonder, are they walking like this because of their intellectual disabilities? Or is it simply easier for them to walk this way? Perhaps it is their own choice. This is a matter that requires further investigation. It all began with an article published by Turkish scientists. The article described a family living in a remote part of Turkey. The strange thing was that they walked on all fours, just like animals. While the comparison may not be flattering, it's the best way to describe the situation. The article published by the Turkish scientists oddly focused on seemingly trivial details, rather than the main issue of why they walked on all fours. A professor from England, who came across the article, found the information unbelievable and was quite shocked. Professor Nick soon set off for Turkey with a colleague, eager to investigate this incredible discovery. After all, nothing like this had ever been reported in the scientific literature. The professor wanted to see everyone who was in this condition. Eventually, they saw someone coming down the road. From a distance, this person appeared to be drunk, but in reality, he was one of the individuals with a mild form of the four-legged walking issue. Others were not as fortunate. Hussein was one of them and had been living in this condition for about 28 years. The family has 5 children who exhibit extreme imbalance along with cognitive impairments that make it difficult for them to stand upright. As a result, these 5 children, having never been able to stand upright for years, have adapted to moving on all fours. When walking on all fours, they use their hands like front legs, and some even wear shoes or sandals on their hands. The question arises, is this way of walking their own choice, or do they have a skeletal structure that prevents them from walking upright? Perhaps the answer to this question goes back to the earliest humans. According to the belief in evolution, ancient humans walked on all fours like apes for some time. Whether this way of living was difficult or easy for them is unknown, but it must have been challenging because, according to this belief, they eventually stood upright. The exact time, reason, or manner of this transition is still unknown. However, some proponents of evolution believe that these newly discovered people who walk on all fours could be living proof of their ancestors' traits. In contrast, the Islamic belief argues that humanity was created as human beings from the beginning, starting with Adam and Eve, and never underwent evolution. According to this belief, humans have always walked on 2 legs. Following this discovery, some scientists tried to explain the situation from an evolutionary perspective, calling this 4-legged walking a form of reverse evolution. To explain, for example, when a dog walks, it moves both of its right legs forward at the same time, followed by its left legs in the same manner. This is known as a lateral sequence gait. However, when humans walk, when they move their right leg forward, their left hand moves forward as well, which is the opposite of the dog's movement. But this doesn't apply to the unique case of these people. The people in the Turkish village walk by moving their right rear leg forward, followed by their right front arm, which some researchers believe reflects traits of their primate ancestors, a kind of reflection of ancient human genetic remnants. However, this idea is not accurate. According to the belief in evolution, standing upright was a gradual process, with long periods between each transition. Therefore, these people's way of walking cannot be attributed to reverse evolution. Moreover, there is no concrete evidence that ancient humans walked on all fours, apart from speculative inferences. For example, the footprints discovered in Tanzania, which are thought to be more than 3 million years old, belong to a human who walked on 2 legs. These footprints, preserved in hardened volcanic ash, are the oldest human footprints ever discovered. Even in these ancient footprints, humans were walking and hunting on 2 legs. Standing upright is one of the most distinguishing characteristics that set us apart from most other creatures. However, there are creatures that adapt to standing upright out of necessity. For instance, a mouse with no front limbs continues its life standing upright, and even a dog, which should be on all fours, has managed to adapt to walking on 2 legs due to the absence of its front limbs. Similarly, the people in this village may have adapted to walking in this manner due to certain constraints. To explore this further, a team brings some family members to a specialized hospital.
Bu tarafa. Gülün. Gülün. Gülün.
At this point, they will undergo an MRI scan to determine the cause of the problem. When the results came in, some peculiarities were noticed. The scans revealed a shrinkage in the cerebellum, the part of the brain responsible for coordination and balance. It was clear that this brain damage was common among all the affected siblings. However, the shrinkage in the cerebellum alone did not fully explain why some members of the family walked on all fours. After all, there are many cases where people with similar brain damage can walk normally. Scientists discovered that this issue was rooted in the family's DNA. Professor Stephen Mould suspected that a genetic problem in the DNA was responsible for this condition. However, Professor Nick believed that it was entirely due to the family's environment or the irresponsibility of those around them. The children, who struggled to stand upright due to partial physical disabilities, found walking on all fours more comfortable and chose this method. In the end, it was a sign that they felt more at ease this way. However, this could have been prevented. As you know, babies crawl on their knees before they learn to walk. But the individuals in this family who walked on all fours did so even as young children. It is truly sad that this issue, which was evident from an early age, was never addressed, and no one helped them learn to walk upright. This was in fact a great injustice done to them. At the very least, they could have received special education or physical therapy. The idea that this wasn't possible due to financial constraints changes nothing. These children never deserved to walk like animals. No one would choose to walk this way for life, given the option. Unfortunately, they were all neglected. After some time, a member of the team brought a very simple walker to help them walk upright and prevent them from continuing to walk bent over. Of course, more functional aids could be provided, but this was just the beginning. In the following days, metal bars were placed in their yard to encourage them to walk upright. The joy on their faces was clear after receiving this assistance, but for some of them, hope was already fading. They might have to walk this way for the rest of their lives. As I mentioned, providing these tools or building a few supportive aids to help them walk upright cannot be attributed to poverty. You can't simply say it's because they were poor or lacked resources. This is clearly neglect and indifference. At least some members of the family have started receiving treatment before it's too late, and they are much happier than before. Soon they will begin to walk like humans. This has been Hidden Truths. See you next time, and don't forget to follow.